everybody, it's Jerry from the Military Collectibles Shop, and welcome to another edition of What's New at the Military Collectibles Shop. So this past week we've actually gotten a bunch of stuff in, as usual. A lot of different things, a lot of different eras, a lot of different kinds of stuff. Notably, Saturday we got in a kind of a large collection of kind of Vietnam era gear and stuff. This is a front reserve chute. We actually got the whole parachute static line chute, but neat to find, and in that kind of Vietnam War era dated. We also picked up as part of that, a lot of ordnance, inert ordnance, and one of the things was a claymore mine. So if I only knew which side to point toward the enemy. But this is a practice one. It's inert. Although this was the neat thing about this one is that this is a practice one that was actually made from a real one. Some of the practice ones are made as practice ones. This one is just utilized. It's been marked blue, and it's utilized as a practice one. So those are always kind of cool. Picked up a WWII Women's Army Corps Daisy May hat. This is kind of neat, and what's extra special about this one is I actually have her name and service number inside, so that's always great to see. Pretty sure I already have one of these in my own collection, but I need to double check that and see, because I know it ain't gonna fit this melon. So alright, one of the real nice things I got in this week, I actually had to pick it up, but he helped me load it, was a Foot Locker grouping. And Foot Locker groupings are great. We just don't see enough of them anymore, sadly. So basically this is all the guy's stuff, you know, that he came home with and kept in his Foot Locker. So this particular officer was he flew B-26s. He was a pilot in the Army Air Forces in World War II. Flew in France, flew on D-Day. He was with the 9th Army Air Force. So we got a yard-long picture of the unit. That's always nice. Some other pictures. I'm assuming a picture of him. Some pictures of some other planes' nose art. That's always great. His hat. A lot of paperwork. You know, this is kind of was his repository for everything. So a lot of different pieces of paperwork. Some scrapbook stuff from him. His military stuff includes his air medal that he was awarded. And being in the Army Air Forces, he was awarded the Air Medal with 4 oak leaf clusters for the number of missions that he flew. And I know somewhere in here is his separation report and his DD-214 discharge. We got a lot of his insignia, including some British-made felt 9th Air Force ones. One of the nicer pieces in here is his pilot wing on what's known as the combat blue background. During the war, over in England, a lot of the Air Force guys kind of wanted to distinguish themselves from the crews and groups that saw combat from the guys who didn't. So they kind of came up with this blue background thing as a way to kind of signify that, hey, they had flown in combat. So very nice to see. Some more of his loose insignia from his uniforms. His rank insignia, his U.S. insignia, his hat insignia, another set of his pilot's wings in sterling. His ID bracelet, these were very popular, usually sterling, with his name and service number. Some film canisters, these should be interesting. I'm going to see if I can transfer those. His ribbon bar with the European, with 4 campaign stars, and again the Air Medal with 4 oak leaf clusters. Dog tag, more U.S. insignia. Part of his Sam Brown belt. Should really get these in a little box so I don't lose anything. Or a big box. I'll use the WWII hat. It's the officer Sam Brown. Oh, the whole belt is there, including the sword hanger. That's always nice. Some more Army Air Force hats, and this one actually has the 9th Army Air Force enameled unit crest on it. There's some nice flight pictures, you know, showing guys in planes doing stuff. Probably from training. Here they're doing something with bombs. Go figure. Yeah, there's some more bombs. That's kind of a cool shot. Alright, some more film containers. More paperwork. The foot locker itself is nice. It's actually a 1942 dated wooden foot locker, and it's named to him as well. Got his uniform, which is kind of interesting because it's actually like kind of an unusual uniform. It's actually a white summer weight. I don't even know what you kind of call this material, but not a typically seen uniform. So I'm probably going to replace the loose insignia that came off of this. I might see if I can get this a little cleaner. But that's kind of unusual to find. Some flight maps. He did go on to fly for American Airlines after the war. So that was nice. Oh, we got him one of his visor hats and actually his crusher hat. The 50 mission crusher, they call these. And this is actually a true crusher with a leather visor, not just a crushed visor hat. This one's actually a crusher. The pants for the uniform, some kind of flight computer. Oh, the load adjuster. So I love getting these kind of footlocker units. They're just like treasure troves or time capsules of history. You never quite know what you're going to find, what might be left. And generally, the stuff in here stays fairly well protected, so that's always good too. You know, as long as no bugs or moisture or mice get in, everything generally remains pretty well preserved. So that's cool. And obviously I've got his name, so we're running some more research on him and seeing what else we can find out. And I'll delve through the actual paperwork because it's just a treasure trove. His whole military file is in here. All the different planes he flew, all his flight records, all kinds of stuff. So that was neat. I was fortunate to get that. Okay, and then from the Vietnam collection, I'm just going to move this out of the way. All right, and then from the aforementioned Vietnam collection, one of the things we got was a bunch of ordnance, inert ordnance, and I got the biggest artillery shell I've ever seen. So this is really cool. Let's see. This is a 6-inch 47 caliber Mark 6, 1944. I believe this is from a destroyer. So this was the biggest artillery shell I had ever seen until this one came in. This one, even bigger. That's very cool. Can you imagine the size of the projectile on this thing? The shorter one, I believe, came from a Navy destroyer. The big one, I believe, is from one of the long cannons that the U.S. Army used. I don't remember the date on the bottom of it, but very, very cool. Unusual pieces, to be sure. I told people this is the world's largest 22 caliber shell. Some people get it, some people don't. All right. Then we also got in some German items. Got in kind of a neat Luftschutz helmet. The unusual thing about this is they painted a 2 over it. So that's always neat. Just a typical Luftschutz helmet. But then, my personal favorite find of the week, of the year probably, is this World War II U.S. Army 1st Division Officer fixed bale helmet. It's got the Follow Me stripe on the back of it. Nice early rayon lining. Painted helmets are very difficult to find in any condition, any configuration. And there's always that, you know, is that real? That paint looks awfully new. How do we know it wasn't painted yesterday? Blah, blah, blah. Now, and I had those concerns too, you know, when I first saw the pictures of this helmet. So I happened to ask the lady, because it came from the daughter of the veteran, and she said, well, yeah, I've got a picture of him wearing it. So she was also nice enough to include that. Which would be much more impressive if I actually had it in the stuff that I have here. So let me go get that. All right. Apparently it was here all along. But here's the photo of him actually wearing the helmet at a formation during World War II. And I was also able to get his invasion flag from his, probably the invasion of North Africa. I believe these were worn, or Sicily, by the 1st Division. And I got some other 1st Division items, along with the little 1st Division unit history. So, and the good news is the family's actually coming back with more stuff. So, super excited to get the helmet. I collect painted helmets myself. Don't see many of them, and every one of them has a story, usually, you know, which is great when we can get them right from the source like this, right from the family, with this kind of ironclad provenance. It's just unheard of. So that really, I'm still excited about this. So that's very cool. So I'm happy I can share that with you guys. A couple of the other smaller things we got in was a plaque of a German Maxim machine gun off some kind of wood plaque or wood award, probably from World War I. So that was kind of neat. And a nice group of what we call Dachau SS Volunteer Unit Insignia. Now, the SS was actually prohibited by German law from conscripting, so it was made up of entirely volunteer people in Germany. While the Army, Navy, and Air Force could conscript or draft people, the SS was unable to because of German law. So they relied entirely on German volunteers for that. But what happened is they kind of ran out of volunteers, and so as they moved out into other countries where a lot of anti-communist sentiment existed, it wasn't too hard for them to recruit local members for these volunteer organizations. And a lot of times these countries, soldiers actually wore the symbol of their own country. Like this would have been an Italian volunteer serving with the SS. This was a Hungarian unit that was serving with the SS. And there's about, I don't know, there's a bunch of these foreign volunteer units that actually served with the SS units that all had their own kind of uniquely designed local style collar patches. At the end of the war, a bunch of these, a warehouse of these was actually found in the city of Dachau, which is near where the first concentration camp was formed. But the SS had a clothing depot there as well, as along with a shooting range and a whole bunch of barracks and things. So the US GIs, these were popular souvenirs for any of the GIs that went through, because there's a whole bunch of them, buckets of them. Some of them were tied together, you know, and all kind of exhibiting the same manufacturing styles and things. This one happens to be a hat Edelweiss for a SS Mountain Trooper. So a nice smattering of original, unused German foreign volunteer and German, this is actually SS Runic you know, that were found in Dachau. Okay, just a few more pieces that I wanted to share with you that had come in this week. We got a nice SA dagger, probably the most common of all the German daggers, but still always popular with collectors. Always a, you know, nice, elegant design based on, I think, a 13th century Swiss dagger. So nice to find, in decent condition. Also, a Japanese Shingunto late war NCO sword. So nice blade. These didn't have handmade blades on them. They had machine made steel blades, but they're still growing in popularity with collectors. They used to be kind of shunned, and now people have kind of started to appreciate them for what they are. Cast aluminum handles. This one does have matching serial numbers, both on the blade and on the scabbard, which is always nice to find. Now, one thing you do have to watch out for with these is there are a lot of Chinese-made copies kind of flooding the market. If you look on eBay at any given time, you're going to see a bunch of these. And you know, the Chinese ones in some cases are just crudely made. The serial numbers, they won't match up to like known examples. They'll be kind of big stamped numbers and stamped in different places that you wouldn't normally expect to see the serial numbers. But this is a nice worn example, obviously, but still good to find. And then finally, we got in a just kind of a mishmash of insignia, different things. Some wings, some British insignia. I wanted to share some of them with you because some of them are noteworthy. Like we got some aircrew, World War II Sterling aircrew wings from the Army Air Force. We got some Navy aircrew wings with the battle stars, which are cool. Nice small gunner's wing and a small pilot wing. This is a really nice piece. This is actually a British-made paratrooper badge. So always nice to find when you can find them. Also, a lot of fakes of these on eBay, so you have to be careful. Know what you're looking at. Don't take anything at face value. And then just kind of a mishmash of World War I era items. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you, we picked up a piece that I'm not completely sure what it is. It's a large size coastal artillery insignia. Now this is the normal sized World War I era collar insignia. So, and this has loops on it for attaching, but I don't know attaching to what. What would this have been used for? It's big, it's heavy, it's too big and heavy to be used like on a hat, I would think. But then again, I don't know what it was used for. So if any of you know, drop me a line. Let me know what you think. But just a nice smattering of insignia. And this one kind of fell into our laps by accident. A friend of ours who normally deals in German daggers was at an auction and actually ended up bidding on one of the wrong lots. So he ended up with a pile of insignia. And so his loss was our gain. So we ended up with a pile of insignia. So some neat pieces. I'm actually going to keep a couple of these in my own collection. What we lovingly refer to as a shit slide in the warehouse. So, but that happens. But I'm going to keep a couple pieces in my own collection, and then we'll get the rest out for sale. So that's the second batch of newer stuff So I guess we now return you to our previous what's newer, still in progress. All right. It's been a busy week. It's going to be a busy weekend. We've already got some people lined up bringing some stuff in. We need to start moving some stuff out. But hey, thanks to all of you who've subscribed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. I don't know what that does, but hey, it's cool. You'll get notified when we make more videos like these. If you find us on Facebook, like us. I know there's always one of you who gives us a thumbs down. Hey, thank you for keeping us on the ground. But we love doing this, you know, and if we got all thumbs down, we'd still do this. You can't stop us because we love doing this. We love talking about it. So, hey, if you got any questions, email us, give us a call. Unfortunately, sometimes when we're at the shop, because we are here such limited hours, we can't always chat the entire time, but you're welcome to give a call. Email works great. I try to respond to everybody in a very timely manner. But drop us a line, visit our website. We're getting it repopulated. I know a couple of you are like, hey, what's going on with the website? We had to switch website hosts. It was a big tangled mess. We finally got it all sorted out. We're kind of doing our own thing. So there's actually only 2 of us that are populating the website. So give us a little bit. We're verifying our inventory because the old site had some inventory tracking problems, which was part of the reason we had to dump the old website host. So we're very happy to be in the new place. We think it looks good. We hope you like it. Remember to stop by militarycollectorshq.com to see it for yourself. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I'm Jerry. This is the Military Collectible Shop, and now you know what's new at the Military Collectible Shop. Stay safe.